Hey boss, time to wake up. We got customers waiting.
Alright guys, at number 1, and this has been in our radar since a little less than a month ago, a brand new game by developers of Cloudpunk from a couple of years ago. Some of you might have been familiar with the new game going by the name Inscreva-se, which is technically, as you can see, another cyberpunk-inspired restaurant management game in which players can grow the business, manage restaurants and nightclubs, starting very small and eventually owning the whole city. See, Inscreva-se here is on its way to PCs only, with the release date, however, still yet to be announced.
This is a world to explore, to make stories, your stories. You ever look up at the clouds and wonder what's up there? Well, if you dream big enough, maybe you'll find out. Maybe we all will. Welcome to Inscreva-se.
When we moved to the West, I was promised peace and prosperity. What I found was death, betrayal, and murder. But I will survive.
Coming up behind that, by the one and only Toplets production from last year, here we have with us once again a brand new teaser trailer on Wild West Dynasty. An open world RPG survival, city building, life simulation, just everything mashed together, sort of Red Dead-y thing, but actually quite different, I've learned through this trailer. Unfortunately, still the game doesn't have a set release date, but we know it is coming to PCs only by the end of 2022. Take a look.
To come, I will leave my mark on history. But first, there are some things I need to take care of.
Wow, time flies, doesn't it? Let's get to work and prepare for tonight's service. First, let's see what we'll put on today's menu.
At number 3, by Nacon, well, the same folks behind probably 200 other games in the making right now as of 2022, half of which even AAA games, we have another one here going by the name Shift Life, a restaurant simulator once again. As the title suggests, in a game that blends farming sim style kind of gameplay and incorporating Sims games elements. Nacon's been doing some crazy stuff lately, so this is probably no exception. In fact, I've got pretty high hopes for it. And yeah, Shift Life releases February 2nd, 2023, and on every single platform too. On the other hand, and from roughly 2 years ago, and now with us here today once again with a brand new trailer, we have here Police Interceptors, a so described by developers high-speed, adrenaline-packed, car-chasing, open-world, semi-open world actually sim, in which your task is to go after runaway vehicles mostly, but then eventually on foot, and arresting fugitives and stuff like that. The good news here is that the game is in active development, and for those of you who have actually been waiting, it is coming to PCs, but a release date for it is still yet to be announced. Check it out. Moving on, we have the very long-awaited game Alaskan Truck Simulator, which is also actually one of the most anticipated simulation games due for release. Finally, 2022, we just came across a December 2nd release across all consoles for the game too, with a new trailer. Take a look. Alaskan Truck Sim has you traveling through, well, Alaska, from icy roads to mountains and forests. A day and night cycle, obviously, stuff like cooking even, and yeah, but mostly just driving. Take a look. Coming up behind that, from a little over a month ago, we have here now Goat Simulator 3. I know that's not Dead Island 2, the sequel to the original 2013 almost April's full of an idea that not much later actually became a big hit as a sandbox open world and now multiplayer. Yes, you can play this game now in herds of up to 4 friends online and through different mini games too. Well, check it out. The game is coming to the PlayStation 5, PCs, Xbox consoles too, and via the Epic Games Store late 2022. At number 7, we've got once again Ranchers, The Ranchers, an open world country life sim, obviously playable for up to 4 players online, where you get to raise animals, grow crops, craft machines, build houses and stuff, and explore a pretty huge open world while earning the village's respect. That is pretty much the description for The Ranchers that was revealed earlier this year. All we know is that it is coming to PCs only and due out early to mid next year. Moving on, we've got something over here called Ships 22, as described by its developers as a combination of economic strategy games and a ship control simulator, where you will basically manage and upgrade ports, recruit crews, carry missions, while enjoying some sort of a non-linear story-based adventure. Well, check it out. To be quite frank, I've nothing really to add to the description, except the game is coming to every single platform in addition to the Nintendo Switch sometime later this year.
Build, farm, hunt, and trade. Ranch Simulator.
Coming up behind that, we have, well, once again, another ranch simulator. This is basically called Ranch Simulator, which has been available since earlier this year through early access on Steam, and it's a very popular game too that's been getting quite a bit of updates very recently. But hell, you can even now play this game alone, obviously, or with up to 4 other players online. See, this is how it works. The full game is coming out, which doesn't really matter, in about a month or so we hear, and the early access has been around since a year ago. Take a look at it.
3 friends raise and breed livestock, milk cows, and then sell produce to keep the finances flowing. The remote valley you call home may be picturesque, but it's also teeming with wildlife and dangers. Head out into the wilderness to stalk deer, track bears, and hunt wolves. Ranch Simulator hits PC early access.
At number 10, and as stated by developers inspired by lots and lots of classics, specifically Harvest Moons and a dash of Persona when it comes to the combat part of the game, something called Sunnyside, the farming Japanese role-playing game where you just won this auction to this abandoned farm in the middle of the town called Sunnyside. There you will then and could craft, build, cook, marry another dude if you want, basically trying to get to where you want the story to go. See, this game's just funded through the Kickstarter and set to be released by October this year and releasing on platforms too. Check it out real quick.
Left asteroid impact. Go to the shelter.
Now, on the other hand, we've just got something going on here from a tad over a month ago when I've actually missed out on, called Asteroid Impact Survival, which is basically an asteroid sim where you have to prepare yourself for the end of the world. See, in Asteroid Impact Survival, you play at the role of a regular dude, basically trying to live through an inevitable catastrophe that'll happen in the next 30 days. Just check it out. Game's coming to PCs only sometime later this year.
At Urban, we don't just get people where they want to go.
At number 12, we've got once again the one and only Urban Venture, pretty much another fully new open world taxi driving and tycoon sim, and one set in a full one-on-one recreation of Barcelona, Spain, by these crazy developers who earlier did actually another one-on-one recreation of another city game called Train Life, a railway sim, I believe also in Spain. Anyway, don't cue me on that, please. Urban Venture doesn't yet have a release date, but we know an early access version of it will release by the end of 2022.
Relax in your own personal automobile. Be a tourist in your own city. Discover new places and traffic obstacles you never knew existed. But be sure to watch out for all traffic signs and pedestrians, lest you risk a fine. Go on an urban venture. All the freedom of driving with a lot more responsibility.
At number 13, and inspired by the golden age of street skating, which is 90s apparently, Pure Session Skate Sim, made by and for skaters, as developers of which stated, with this dual stick control that's faithfully reporting your feet on the skateboard for an ultra-realistic experience, and a ton of modes to play through too, and even online. See, Session Skate Sim will now release September 22nd this year, and it is on its way to PCs, PlayStation, and Xbox consoles to both generations. Take a look. I don't believe this is a surprise that 2022 has been so far home to a great deal of games revolving around the post-apocalyptic disaster Chernobyl, be it the Stalker 2, Chernobyl Lights, and so much more. Well, here we have once again Chernobyl Liquidator's Simulator for those of you who have missed out. Not a monster killing, catching, survival horror, whatever, but more of a history-accurate sort of sim based on the Chernobyl incident. Check this out, it is now coming to PCs via Steam only, and we're here in about a few months from now. At number 15, and perhaps as an honorable mention, I believe, we have here Lumberjack's Dynasty that was finally released fully a little less than a month ago, and after more than a year of early access phase and with a lot of mixed reviews right now on Steam. Technically as a mix of forestry, as stated by developers, logging, business, and life simulation, and incorporating role-playing elements. I've never played this game, but they say it's a pretty time-consuming one, so I don't know, take a look. If it's a thing you like, go for it. And last but not least, once again here we have with us the much awaited Medic Pacific War, which is a World War simulation, basically, obviously, that even takes place on the front of the damn thing, and you come in obviously as a medic. So I believe the game is pretty much choice driven, so whatever decision you do make will also change the outcome of the battle, and some of them is going to be pretty tough too. Check it out, the game's still on its track of 2022 release, possibly throughout October to November this year.
Come on now, we gotta go!